coming to a bowling center near you. Competitive sport bowling could be the next milestone for the sport. Tonight's 5 finalists go for the title in the first ever PWBA tournament on the sport condition. Who will walk away the champ? Stay tuned. Tonight's opener features a holder of the Triple Crown, Dede Davidson, one-time pro titleist Kendra and last week's WIBC Queens champ Carolyn Dorin Ballard. High scorer will advance to face the reigning Rookie of the Year Cara Honeychurch, and the winner there will challenge top seed Liz Johnson for the championship. Welcome inside St. Clair Bowl in Fairview Heights, Illinois for the 4th consecutive year for the finals of the St. Clair Classic. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt along with my partner once again, Kathy, Dorin, Lizzie. We're glad you joined us. Kathy, on top this week, a different face, Liz Johnson. She won 6 titles from 96 to 99, but hasn't won since then due to an injury. What are her chances tonight?
Well, watching her bowl last night, Jan, I think her chances are excellent. Over the break, Liz took a little time off. She went to the gym, did a lot of strengthening, training for her back, made some adjustments on her physical game. She came in this week and played the lanes the way no one can play them the way Liz can. And that is why she is our tournament leader tonight.
Well, someone who played the other side of the lane very well in her number 5 position, Dede Davidson, she finished out 2000 winning 2 of the final 3 events.
One of those events being the Invitational to capture the Triple Crown for Dede. She was so ecstatic about that. She also went home, went to the gym, did a lot of cardiovascular training, lost 22 pounds. And although she didn't perform very well last week in a tournament she normally excels in, she came this week fresh, ready for a new challenge on the sports condition, making the last 3 out of 4 telecasts here. Dede is ready for title number 8.
Well, right now she's ready for match number 1. She'll be joined by Gaines and Dorin Ballard. Handshakes around for these 3 ladies. Once again, the St. Clair Classic. Carolyn Dorin Ballard, who qualified 3rd, has decided to start the match. It's her choice as the highest qualifier in this match. 11 titles, one of them coming last week in the prestigious WIBC Queens event.
Very exciting. Nail biter.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have any nails. Bit them all off last week, and she starts with a big strike. Kendra Gaines, if you're wondering who this is, it was Kendra Cameron. Yes, recently married in January.
Yeah, got married out in Las Vegas during the Eliminator.
Come on!
Wow. Ouch. Excellent shot. She bowled great yesterday, too, playing that line.
Solid 8-pin, and Dede Davidson now, our first left-hander. 34 years old. 7 national titles.
17 years on tour, that's why.
Kendra changing balls to shoot the spare. She married John Gaines.
They work at the Kegel Training Center down there in Florida, where she does all of her practicing, 5 days a week. Hard worker.
I re-rack.
Oh, Carolyn's going to take a re-rack on lane 22.
Re-rack 21, too. Why?
She definitely doesn't like something in the pins or the way they're set up.
When in doubt. Looking at Carolyn's strength and weaknesses. Strength, keeping the ball in play, which is very important on this type of sports condition. Never to give the pocket away. And her weakness is still putting pressure on herself.
Still doing that, but improving. Getting a little better.
Definitely. Winning the Queens, I think she might be alleviating just a little bit of that pressure. Great shot.
Back of a big strike, and Kendra will be stepping up. Now the sport condition, real quickly, there's a lot of specifications to the new sport condition, and it's here to put credibility back into the sport, put a little more emphasis on accuracy, a little less on power, and it's a more even pattern where there's not so much buildup in the middle of the lane.
Yes, it's definitely based on shot making, spare making, staying focused. As you can see, Kendra told us she bowls on different patterns down there, and she was able to figure out where she needed to play specifically on this pattern from practice.
Dede looking for a double, but 6-pin stands. Good shot for Dede Davidson.
It just came up a little bit high. Dede's such a strong player. Picks up the plastic ball to shoot the spare. I don't think she'll have any problem with this. No, not at all.
Well, the PWBA will head next to the Southwest for its 2 stops, beginning with Albuquerque Open from Silva Lanes of Albuquerque. That's Sunday, May 27th through Thursday, May 31st. And then it'll be on to the Wheelchair Awareness Classic from Country Club Lanes in Mesa, Arizona, Saturday, June 2nd through the 7th. After that, it's back to Grove Bowling Center in San Diego, California for the Greater San Diego Open. That's Saturday, June 9th through the 14th. So if you're in those areas, stop in and watch the greatest women bowlers in the world. And keep watching us right here on ESPN2. Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard with 2 strikes in the lead here. Gaines and Davidson both clean so far with a spare and a strike.
Carolyn takes an extra minute.
There's that Queen's title we talked about. What a big one that is to win, and especially to start the year.
Oh my God, you are right. What better confidence builder but to win the first tournament, let alone a major. Yeah. Boy, that came back pretty far.
That was a little right off her hand,
Yeah.
I believe, and break just to leave the 7-pin.
That might be what we call an area check.
A little bit of
Yeah.
one. And another bigger area check.
Yeah.
And that is what happens. Understand, when you're playing that far right and you miss a couple boards right like you would playing any other part of the lane, it's in the channel.
Yes, and even though there is a little bit of a hook there, there is conditioner there also. And as you can see, Carolyn missed that 7-pin to the left. She did that last week too.
Do I have to shoot it that way?
Kendra Gaines is questioning
Sorry,
if she
Kendra.
has to shoot the rack the way it came down on the second setting.
Better shot. Wow. What an excellent shot.
Unfortunate break, leaving a solid 7 trying to pick up the spare.
Dede now up.
She has a big opportunity here. 2 unfortunate open frames. And look at that.
Leaves a light 5-pin. It's a great shot.
It was almost down and stood back up.
Carolyn going to try to regroup after the open. No problem there. Great shot. Little disgust though.
She always comes right back with a strike after an open frame, as most of the professionals do.
Yeah, rarely will you see that the professional won't make it back. Mental toughness. Dede converts the spare, no problem. And Dede's now +2. Took the lead with that spare. Kendra now up, going to try to regain herself. Beautiful shot. She's so smooth.
She is.
Yeah.
A little bit like Kim Kennedy in terms
Yes.
of smoothness at the line.
Yes, very, very smooth.
Actually, Kim Terrell, I spoke. She changed her name, Terrell now. Dede Davidson in the lead by 2 on a spare. Wow. It's a little bit of trouble here early on. Some of the pairs this week were tough and some a lot better.
She threw it great, but got it in just a little bit. Catches the hook right through the center.
And as I talked about a little bit before, not as much buildup in the middle. Calls for a lot of accuracy. A little mistake will create a big problem down the lane on this new sport condition.
Yes, and your mistakes are magnified. Only getting 2.
Well, as we break, we want to pay tribute to the 3 mothers recently lost to members of the bowling community. Noreen Kuhn, mother of WIBC Executive Director Roseanne Kuhn, Meredith McGarry, mother of PWBA touring pro Laura Lee Daniel, and Noma Falzone Johnson, mother of PWBA president John Falzone. The PWBA staff and members extend their sympathy and prayers to all of the family and friends of these three wonderful ladies. There's a look at the score while we were away. A couple of strikes, a couple of spares. Dede Davidson, a little trouble with a split in the 7th frame. Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard now in the lead by 9 pins.
She's going to try to run away with it a little bit here, the double. Just got to keep it in the pocket. Very important on this.
Big shot there for Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard.
She said the conditions this week were similar to last week and that they got tougher every day. It was just who could stay focused and not give the pocket away and stay safe. Got to make your spares.
Last title for Kendra back in 1998. It was her only title in Sebring, where she now resides.
Right.
Crossing over Brooklyn for Kendra there, leaving a 6-pin.
Which on this is a good spare. Great shot by Dede.
Back on the strike target for Dede Davidson. Kendra covers it up, but Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard now leads by 19 pins as she steps up into the 9th frame. She defeated Dede twice, had to bowl her in the position round also during the week. Some low games, as we talked about, on the sport condition, but also it's early in the season, so the players aren't as sharp as they would be, or a lot of them aren't as sharp as they would be a little bit later in the year.
Right, they're still trying to figure out how to play this, what type of equipment, what surfaces. Carolyn also said, and it's true, you're not going to win a lot of games with 200. You're going to win with 185, 190. You just got to hang in there and just stay focused. Comes back with a great triple. Puts a little pressure on Kendra.
That was not a good shot.
No.
She didn't look good at the line on that shot. Dede Davidson steps up. Ooh, and coming light, and Dede Davidson shot the only 300 of the event this week.
Yeah, Kendra fell off the shot right at the line. If you don't get it to the break point at the right time, or at the right point, that's what's going to happen. She was off right from the get-go.
Dede spares it up, and Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard now with a big lead by 41 pins.
She'll probably just have to stay clean.
Unless she can strike out for 235 would be her max score. Max score for Kendra, 194, and for Dede Davidson, 177. These were the averages in this particular event in this bowling center last year, and the averages this year with the sport condition. Now, obviously, we were playing on one of our easier patterns, which, though, is still tougher than your average league condition last year on this shot, but the averages did drop on the sport condition, and they were expected to. It's meant to put that credibility back into the sport. When you shoot a 300, you shot it because you were accurate and you executed the same, like an athlete should.
Yes. That's where your better bowlers should bowl better.
It's the widest 4-9.
4-9 for Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard, but it doesn't matter. So Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard advances, but first when we return, we'll show you a little bit of the WIBC convention. In upcoming telecasts, we'll introduce you to the newest WIBC Hall of Fame members and award recipients. WIBC Director Darlene Baker is here at the tournament, the St. Clair Classic. It's been on hand all week. Final score of match 1, Dorin, Ballard 199, Gaines 183, and Davidson 167. Carolyn Dorin Ballard faces the Thunder from Down Under, Cara Honeychurch, right after this. So if you were a Queen's champion, where would you put your tiara? Well, Carolyn Dorin Ballard puts it on the dashboard of her motorhome. It looks very nice there, though, Kathy. You travel with her.
I think it would look nicer on my head, though.
You can probably walk out with it one day. You think she'll notice?
Yes.
Carolyn Dorin Ballard starting the semifinal match here against Cara Honeychurch. This is her opening shot.
Great shot. He starts out strong.
Cara Honeychurch also playing the left side of the lane. 2 left-handers on the show tonight, 3 right-handers from Melbourne, Australia. She is the reigning Rookie of the Year.
Yes, and has 3 titles.
Not too bad for a rookie.
Not at all. Great opening shot by Cara.
You know, I want to take a minute. The first match went so quick with the score and everything. I know Lori Davidson's at home, and I know she was ill lately, and we want to wish her well. Dede wanted to say hello.
Yes, we're all thinking about you, Lori.
There it is, PWBA Rookie of the Year, and that was a landslide vote.
What a year she had. Since she's come out, she's really been a strong player, but she's had so much international experience. It wasn't a surprise that she really knocked them dead out here. Another great shot.
Well, after the struggles of the first match, both ladies appear to be lined up right now, so I will let you know that once again a $50,000 bonus for a $300 award on television by Travelodge Hotels.
Carolyn's success factor, 3 strikes on 21. Well, she's even. 3 on 22. Single pin conversions. She missed that 7 pin. 1 and 1 on the splits. It came up a little light there.
Left that one right. She left the 2-4-5 and wiping her shoe.
Yeah.
A little bit of footing problem. It's a good tip at home. Sometimes you get a little residue being off either what they used on the floors or off the carpet or anything you might have seen, and wipe it off, create a little friction on your shoe.
Definitely plays a major part in how firm you can be at the line.
Footing, very, very important. It's an obstacle, another obstacle in bowling that you can't see on the lanes.
Right. You can't see it, but you have to overcome it somehow.
And most of these ladies overcome it just by the position they're in at the line and the strength of their legs. They're able to overcome a lot of that.
Yes. Great flexibility, great strength in the legs. Very important. Everybody thinks it comes from your arms, but it doesn't. It comes from your legs.
So Carolyn Dorin Ballard trailing by 20 right now.
That was a great shot off her hand.
And again, we had some comments about the scoring, and I want to clarify for you if there was a misunderstanding from anyone at home that what we're showing you on a plus or minus is the difference between the projected scores of the opponents based on the assumption that they strike out from that point in the match.
Great shot by Cara. Solid 7-pin. She worked a lot on her physical game over the break. She went to the training center, videotaped. She learned a few more hand positions, changed her axis a little bit. Definitely made a difference last week and this week, because she finished high last week also. And the conditions are tough, so you have to be on your game to make it to this point.
Well, she was working at staying behind the ball a little bit more. And it has helped her quite a bit. And also trying to stay more solid at the line.
Yes. She doesn't have that much of a knee bend, but she's solid with her release, that it could make up for it. She's a very solid player.
Well, she worked on fitness as well, as did all the ladies apparently in the time off.
Yeah, there were a lot of times last week that Cara was tired. She bowled a lot of games.
Honeychurch now trails by 1 because Carolyn Dorin Ballard has a strike up and could strike out for 280. That'd be her maximum score. Cara Honeychurch can only strike out for 279, the difference being 1 pin.
Cara comes back with a great shot. She's a tough player. This is going to be a tough match.
I know Carolyn, very happy, came out with a lot of new equipment and wanted to thank Tony Franklin for all of the balls that he drilled for her at home.
Yeah, she keeps Tony as busy as she keeps Dell. She keeps them running.
Del Ballard, her husband, and also coach, one of her coaches.
Yes, and she wants to thank John and the guys at Petro Stopping Center for changing her tires on the way to Pittsburgh on the motor.
Last fall, she almost didn't make it with some flat tires. Coming up high, they're leaving a 4-7.
Great off her hand, but just a little left. And it catches the dry, goes right on the face.
She's changing balls to shoot this 4-7.
No problem.
We talked with Carolyn about how starting strong affects her for the rest of the swing.
Well, last year I started really strong. The year before I did, with a couple victories early in the year. And yes, it sets the tone for the year. And you do get a little anxious, but I'm really trying just to take 1 week at a time, especially with the lane conditions being a little bit tougher. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to stay mentally strong and just take it 1 step at a time.
Carolyn now up in the 5th frame. She trails by 19 pins.
Great shots.
So Honeychurch is in the lead. Find out if she gets a shot at the title match in a moment. There's a look at Longacre Park, the 3rd largest recreational park in the country. It's in Fairview Heights. While we were away, Cara Honeychurch continued to strike. She now leads by 39 pins as she steps up in the 8th frame. Very fortunate to get that 7-pin out. That could have been a turn in the match.
Definitely. Comes up high right there, right through the face. That was very, very lucky that that fell. She probably just got it in a little, yeah.
Orpin just laid on it till it finally fell over. Covers the spare, but Carolyn Dorin Ballard is working on a strike here and has an opportunity in this match now. She just trails by 17 pins. Carolyn wants people to know that she does have an emotional side. You asked her last night, what do you want people to know about you? She said, I do have an emotional side. I'm not so hard all the time. And the other thing?
She always thanks the pilot when she leaves the plane. Well, she's coming up high again on lane 22. Leaving the 3-6. She'll shoot at it with the plastic ball. Her best finish was first last year 3 times, both for Blindness Classic in Mesa, the Greater San Diego Open, and Pittsburgh.
Well, Carolyn's very multi-talented, and she does a lot of things. She was on the X Show over the summer.
That's right, she was. She had a lot more hair there, too.
She co-hosted that show. Actually, I believe it was late summer or early fall. Did a great job. Now trailing by 37. She absolutely has to strike here to put any pressure at all back onto Cara Honeychurch.
Well, that was a great shot. She's definitely lined in her left lane. Can't throw it any better than that.
But she'll have to finish on the right lane.
Cara's tough. When she gets lined in, she stays very, very tough.
Well, the best Carolyn Dorin Ballard can shoot is 220 at this point. Cara Honeychurch really just, needs to knock some pins down here.
Right.
Maybe need a mark.
Nope, she's focused. she's lined in, and you can see how she's playing the lanes totally different from Dede. Although their break points may be the same, they get to it a totally different way. Dede goes away with the ball, Cara stays down and in. Obviously, down and in is better carry.
Today.
Right. But tomorrow, it could be different.
Absolutely.
Cara said her strength was accuracy. She wasn't lying.
Well, that's plenty to get the job done in this match, so Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard will have to settle for third place this week. But not too bad of a start, first and third for your first 2 weeks out.
No, not at all.
Cara Honeychurch survives that semifinal match. When we return, we'll tell you about the action so far. Across from the arch in nearby St. Louis is the Gateway Geyser. So far tonight in match 1, Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard hung on long enough to defeat Gaines and Davidson 199 to 183 and 167. In match 2, Cara Honeychurch controlled the match start to finish, defeating Dorin Ballard 245 to 188. Coming up next, Cara Honeychurch will try to put a stop to Liz Johnson's bid for her 7th career title. Once again, a beautiful crystal pin is the trophy here at the St. Clair Classic. These two players will be vying for that trophy, Liz Johnson and Cara Honeychurch. Liz has chosen to start the match.
6 years on tour, 6 national titles.
She'll have the pressure. She'll finish last. She must want to finish on lane 22.
Well, if lane 22 is the one that's hooking a little bit more, she can overpower because of her ball speed. Great shot on 21.
Cara went home during the off time to Australia, and she worked part-time 3 days a week for a business improvement consulting company. In addition to bowling and working out and everything else.
Not too good of an opening shot there for Cara. Pushes the ball out on her first step. Definitely stays behind it a lot better than she did. Not much of a knee bend, but very solid. Go.
She'll try and fit the ball between the two pins.
Perfect.
And hopefully touch them both.
Yes.
You actually can go through those two pins at the proper angle, at a hard enough angle.
And some of our other finishers. In 6th place, Kim Terrell, who finished 3rd last week in the Queens, and Anne-Marie Dugan 7th, who just missed the telecast last week in working our Chiron.
Lisa Bishop and Shanna Ray did well in the sport condition. Kathy Dorin Lizzie popped off a check this week on sport condition. Good job, Kat.
Thank you, Jan. Now that one she got in. That was right off her hand.
High again, so this lady was striking at will last match.
There you can see right there, right off her hand, right into the dry, on the nose, and got lucky knocking the 7-pin, where she would have had another split. A very unforgiving condition, the sports condition. When you make a mistake, the majority of the time you'll pay for it.
Now understand, if you're going to bowl a sport condition out in league, there are a variety of patterns that fit the specifications for the sport condition. This isn't necessarily what you'd be bowling on, what you see here. Plus the surface of the center and the heat and humidity and everything else play a part in how the lanes transition and how they play.
Yes.
So don't expect to see exactly what you're seeing here, but a sport condition is a great way to fine-tune your skills and become more accurate.
Great shot by Liz, coming up light, but just blows them around. Jeannie Nacarado in 16th, 10 national titles. And Kim Adler in 19th. She's our defending champion here.
Allison Almang, she's out in the truck doing our scoreboard. Julie Jackson started on tour last year. She makes a lot of cuts here. And Lisa Stevens from St. Charles, alternate. Her first time as alternate. She was running around here going, oh, I've never done this before. Our alternate actually gathers the scores and posts the standings for the players as their bowling match play. Liz Johnson leaving a 10-pin. Liz told us she gets pretty nervous before a show. She was going to try to shop a little bit. I understand that helps her relax.
And do laundry. I'll have to give her mine. Maybe relax her a little. She said her strength, though, is her spare game. I can see why. You don't lead tournaments unless you can make spares.
Well, there's the great one. The legend, Dick Weber, PBA Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest men I know. What a class act he is, and he has done so much for bowling. We're honored to have him here.
Absolutely. Great shot by Cara.
Much better shot. That break just seemed to have really uneased her a bit, but back on target.
Lot better shot. Gets it out to the left. Just lets it roll into the pocket instead of forcing it into the pocket by tugging it right. Letting the lane bring it in. Beautiful shot. Last match, she was even on both lanes with 4 strikes apiece. Even on lane 22 with single pin conversions or splits. I'm sorry, multi-pin spares.
Multi-pin. 2 for 2 on those.
Rephrase that.
Right.
No splits.
Match is all even right now through 3 frames.
Another great shot. 7-pin though.
Well, Cara was first, she was our average leader in 2000 with 215.18. Second in earnings and 4th in points. And her goal for 2001 was to be in the top 3 in all those categories.
It's a pretty heavy goal.
Sure is. And there's a look at those average leaders. Those stats are compiled by the Ebonite Tournament Coordinator. That's our official tournament software.
Wow. That's not like her. But you're right, maybe the break does funny things to people.
Well, suddenly you're in the championship match. You're on a challenging condition, but you've overcome it, and now, you know, it's for all the marbles.
Sure. Great shot by Liz. That was perfect off her hand. Very strong player, Liz.
Great camera angle there. I like seeing that ball low, set down.
You were saying earlier, physical conditioning has become such an important part of the girls' performances out here. You'll know that the more successful girls, and even the ones that aren't as successful, everyone's into more physical training. You have to be in some way. And these girls are proving that.
Also a Pass Robbie Award winner for professionalism. Big strike for Liz Johnson, so she leads right now. Stay with us for the conclusion of the championship match. Liz Johnson now up in the 7th frame. She continued to strike and now leads by 52 pins. She can shoot 279 if she takes it off the sheet. It won't be a 300, so the $50,000 bonus for by Travelodge Hotels is safe until next week. Cara left a 10-pin and spared it up in the 6th frame. Her max score right now, best she could shoot, would be 227.
Another weak 7-pin.
Yeah, it actually jumped a bit.
Yeah. It looks like she threw it pretty good, but it looks like it went a little far down the lane before it broke into the pocket and hit weak.
Well, it could have been her release. You know, she has 3 different releases. She's been working on them, and she talked to us about some of those release changes and how they helped her.
I've certainly been using all 3 wrist positions at some stage during the last couple of weeks, and also with improving my physical fitness. I've really noticed it, particularly last week with Queens when we had to bowl so many games in a row. I certainly felt a lot fitter and in a lot better shape than I did previously, so I'm hoping that it'll show for the remaining weeks of this swing.
And here she says her strength is her accuracy, which she's definitely right there. And her weakness is choosing her equipment, which I think could be everybody's weakness at one point. She's still learning, her and her husband, who travels with her full-time out here, Jim. She says they're both trying to learn their equipment, when to make the right choices on what type of pattern. Very smart to have another set of eyes behind you if you can do that at all possible.
It helps a lot. In fact, I was chatting with Dick Weber during the break, and he said, you know, I don't know how to make these equipment changes anymore. And it's really tough.
Oh.
Ooh, misses that spare. But continue to watch us. Last year, Michelle Feldman won the Omaha Open in dramatic fashion, defeating Linda Barnes in the championship match. Can she repeat? Find out next week as the PWBA brings you the Miller High Life Open. And a new date and time, be sure to tune in Tuesday. That's May 29th at 11 p.m. Liz Johnson up very quickly. She wanted to continue to strike. She now leads by 89 pins. That event again next week, Tuesday, May 29th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will come to you from Maplewood Lanes in Omaha, Nebraska.
What I said earlier about Cara, I could say the same thing about Liz. When they get lined in, they are tough to beat.
Perfect. Well, she's in her strength right. One of her strengths right now, her weakness was creating areas. She's not having to do that right now. She's able to go very direct at it. She likes to play that kind of a line. Yeah, it allows her to be aggressive, allows her to throw her ball speed, but she stays behind the ball really well. Well, it is pretty much all over but the crying right now, as they say.
Yeah, that was the pride strike. We'll definitely be seeing more of Cara.
Oh, right. She is just, she's a phenomenal talent. And she came out here with so much experience that you can't hold her back. Not to mention she has a little ice water in those veins, and she's cool out there under pressure.
Yeah, I'm catching a chill up here.
But she'll finish up in second place. No chance to defeat Liz. Obviously, her best score would be 190 at this point. Well, Cara will go on. I know she has to hurry up and head to Omaha for a media challenge.
Tomorrow at noon, I believe.
Right, a media challenge tomorrow. We have a lot of those going on. At the beginning of our events, we invite the media to check with the centers and head on out for that media challenge. Liz Johnson wanted to say hello to her mom and dad, Karen and Conrad. Also her brother Mike and his wife Renee. They have a new baby boy, Noah.
Little Noah, yes.
Noah, I think this big game is for you.
Absolutely. Aunt Liz was very excited to talk about him last night. Well, she bowled just as great tonight as she did yesterday. But like you said, she's in her comfort zone. And it shows.
Well, apparently the back feeling good, and she is back in the winner's circle. it up, and Liz Johnson is the 4th champion here at the St. Clair Classic. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. PWBA flashback to 2000 St. Clair Classic. Kim Adler up in the 10th frame. And that's all she wrote. Kim Adler victorious here at the St. Clair Classic. That was 2000 as she defeated Wendy McPherson. But we are in 2001, and Liz Johnson is the champion. Final score 268 to 179. There's a look at your champion. Coming in with the check presentation is Trudy Stewart, the manager here at St. Clair Bowl.
Congratulations. That was really a good game you shot tonight for us. It's been a real exciting tournament. We've been watching this all week long. You ladies are really, you just put on a good job. We really enjoy having you here every year.
Thank you very much. Do you want to give her something?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is your congratulations. A check for $9,000.
Okay, and a beautiful trophy was presented every year, and here is Matt Schellebarger, the president of St. Clair Bowl.
Well, congratulations. It was a great tournament, great last game. I wanted to take the opportunity to thank the Belleville Women's Bowling Association, our Pro-Am coordinators, Pat Paget. They worked really hard this week, and also all the ladies that participated in the tournament. It was a great week. There was a lot of great bowling. It was a very exciting time. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you don't have a free hand, but we'd like to present you with the trophy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just like to thank Matt and Trudy, all the fans at St. Clair Bowl. I also like to thank WIBC and Miller and Chris Schlemmer from Storm. Thank you very much.
Kathy, you have a question for Liz?
Liz, after everything you've had to overcome with your back, it was never a question of if you'd win again, but did you think it would be this soon?
I didn't think so. It was a tough shot this week, and just came out fresh, and I don't know, I'm speechless. I'm sorry.
Well, we need you to talk, so what did you do? You made a change in your physical game, which has helped your back, and for those at home that have back problems, let them know what you did.
Yeah, I just made a little hitch in my back, a little bend. Instead of where I was upright, I was bent over a little bit, and it gave me a little pressure off my back, and in the same time, I think got me a little more aggressive at the line, and so far it's worked out very well.
Well, it definitely seems to have worked well. Liz Johnson, congratulations. She wins the St. Clair Classic. That's her 7th career title for Liz Johnson. Join us again next week on Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern for the Miller High Life Open from Omaha, Nebraska. That's a new date and time, Tuesday at 11 p.m. For Kathy, Dorin, Lizzie, I'm Jan Schmidt, saying so long from the St. Clair Bowl in Fairview Heights, Illinois. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.